Hi, welcome to Donegal Dad. I'm Mark. This week we're going to be having a look at my new airbrush. Before we get stuck into that though, check out my channel members. Links are down below. If you'd like to become a channel member to support the channel, links are also down below, or hit the join button below this video. Any money raised by this channel will help support my work I do in Donegal Railway Heritage Centre. In the next few videos coming up, you'll be able to see some of the money that's earned from this channel, what it's been spent on as I restore and connect up the pedigo layout that was donated to us recently. I'll put a link to that up above so you can see that video, and it'll also be in the description down below. So let's get on with looking at the airbrush. Here's the new airbrush. It's by Green Stuff World. There's their web address there. Cost me €34. I've got another airbrush which is a 0.2. You can see this is a 0.5. That's the size of the nozzle, so it's 0.5 millimeters, the other one 0.2 millimeters. And this just gives me a better spray pattern. So let's take it out of the box and have a look. There it is there. You have the complete airbrush, along with a small spanner, which is used for taking out the nozzle, and a pipette for dropping in your paint or your thinners into the cup. So we'll take all that stuff out. So there's the spanner. And have a closer look at the airbrush. So an airbrush works by obviously being connected to a compressor, which supplies air through here. Now I have my compressor typically set somewhere between 15 and 20 psi. This is called a dual action airbrush because you have to push down and pull back to make the paint flow. So when you push down, that makes a little valve on here open up, allows the air to flow along here. If I take the needle and nozzle cap off, you may be able just to make out the needle there. So when you push down, the air flows past this needle. When you pull back, it withdraws the needle, opening up the nozzle. With the air flowing past, it causes a low pressure, which pulls the paint out, atomizes it, and then it goes off in the spray. So we'll strip it down so you can see all the individual bits. Obviously that's top to the cup, and there's the cup, and if you can see there at the bottom, you can see the needle running right through the base of the cup. We'll take off this bit, and then you can see there's the valve for the air that gets pushed down. I'll take this part off here. This is known as the handle. And then you've got all the mechanism here that holds the needle. So we take this, loosen this nut, then we can pull out the needle. There you can see the needle. It's very sharp, can easily be bent. So take care of this bit. Down, we take the whole thing apart. All this comes out, and you'll be able to see there's a spring behind here. There's the spring. There's the housing for the needle. This little bit here, on some airbrushes this is a separate piece, so make sure when you're taking your airbrush apart for the first time, you note where everything is. Good idea is to take photos of it, or even video it, so you've got something to go back on. Then we can pull the trigger out, and there you can see there's the little piston. Then when you push down, pushes on the valve. And the last bit to take off now is the nozzle. This is the smallest bit. So when you're stripping your airbrush down, just make sure you do it on a flat level surface. So if you drop anything, it stays on the table. We'll try and get that in focus so you can see it. Now some of these parts do have little rubber O-rings, so make sure you don't lose them. But let's put this in sort of an exploded view so you can have a look at it and see all the parts that go into an airbrush. So there you go. So you have your needle cap, your nozzle, main body with the cup lid. You've got your air valve, then the assembly for holding the needle with the spring, what they call the handle, and then the needle itself. So I'll put all that back together again, and then we can have a little talk about paint and thinning and how to deal with any blockages and cleaning of the airbrush. There it is, back together now. I've left the cap off for now. So obviously you're going to use this to paint. I use mostly acrylics when I'm painting. Acrylics come in all sort of thicknesses and pigments. So the best way is, if you're going to mix it up in the cup, you can mix it up separately and pour it into the cup. But if you're going to mix it in the cup, add the thinners first. Then use something like a cocktail stick or something, or if you have another pipette, to drop the colours in and mix it up using a paintbrush or something like that. One way of mixing it up is to put your finger over the end and just press down. This will force the air back up through the cup and help mix it up. And then when you're holding it, do a test spray and just see if it's coming out the right colour and the right consistency that you want. The important thing to do is, once you're finished, is you need to clean the airbrush. Don't put it away with paint still in it. You need to clean out the cup, make sure it's all clean. Take out the needle, give it a clean. All these parts here, the needle cap and nozzle cap, need to be clean, or you'll just end up with bother. The most common problem with these is obviously a blockage. So you might start off spraying and you'll be like, it just seems like very thin, like it's just the thinners coming out. Usually what that is, it means some part of the paint, there's a thick blob of paint or something, and it hasn't dissolved in the thinner, and it's gone down through and it's blocked the nozzle. So you need to take it apart, take the nozzle off. What I tend to do is use the needle and very gently push the needle in and out of the nozzle to try and clear it, and usually that will clean it. Now, I've been told you can put these parts into an ultrasonic jewellery cleaner. I've never done it, but if any of you have done it, let me know in the comments below. So once you've finished, obviously give it a clean. When you're sure everything's clean, pop some airbrush cleaner in here and just let it run through. This is my pot that I use to rest the airbrush on. You can see it just fits in there. It's ideal for when you're cleaning it, because you can just have it in there, press down. There's a little filter in here to stop some of the fumes coming out. You may have seen one of my previous videos, and I'll link that up above and down below, where I built my own little spray booth, a little fume cupboard with an extractor fan. When you're spraying with this, it does give out a very fine mist, which can be damaging to your lungs depending on what paint and thinner you're using. So use it in a well ventilated area, and if you can, get yourself a little spray booth to do your painting in. I seen on Everard Junction the other day, he was spraying, and somewhere he got a little filter to put on here, on the top here, when you're pouring your paint in, because rightly as he said, if you've got some paints that are sitting around, some of the pigments can clump together and they won't dissolve and it will cause blockages. So if you want to check out his last video, he might say in there where he got it from, but it seemed like a very good idea. I'm going to try and get one myself. I'll put a link to his video down below as well. So that's my airbrush, my new one. I've got a coach I picked up at the last show I was at that I'm going to respray into an Irish livery again. So I'm going to see if I can get a few more and do a batch of them. But and then I'll be able to see how it goes, how it works. If you got any comments or questions, put them down below. Hope you enjoyed that little look at my new airbrush. Hopefully I'll get using it shortly and giving it a good test. As I said at the beginning of the video, do check out my channel members, and if you'd like to become a channel member and support the channel, links are down below. So as always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.